We're coming up on 2 years since the 514 tragedy shook up our community. Although they say time heals all wounds, it isn't the only bandage. Gathering together to appreciate art and have conversations surrounding grief also have a hand in healing the wound we are all still feeling. The Buffalo AKG brought together local artists for a newly commissioned exhibit, Before and After Again, that we had the privilege of previewing. Take a look. Well, today I'm here at the AKG with Aaron Ott. You are the curator for this exhibit that is set to open soon, Before and After Again. So tell us about what went into the making of this.
Yeah, a lot went into the making of this. We commissioned Julia Bottoms to produce 22 paintings for this exhibition. Jillian Hainsworth, we commissioned 14 poems, and we commissioned Tiffany Gaines to do a really beautiful prose piece that's all part of this experience.
Now, we're going to talk to the three artists in a minute, but what went into choosing them and what did you task them to do?
Well, we asked them to think about what it is that they are great at. Julia is this incredible visual artist and an incredible portrait artist, and what would it mean to visualize, not just the people we lost, but the people that remain, or these aspects of food inequity that partly led to this tragedy and all the underlying elements. And Jillian is this incredible poet. Like, what could she bring? Tiffany, this incredible writer. So what we really asked is, like, what are your voices in this community? And I don't think that either of any of the artists think that their voice is like a definitive voice, but what they add is their voice, and what they give us is the ability to speak with them. So hopefully, this space becomes a space of dialogue where people share their experience, share their mourning, share their grief, share their healing, and that we all kind of add to that dialogue.
Jillian, tell us a little bit about how you came on board to be part of this exhibit and what your contribution was.
Yeah, so I got a call one day from Aaron Ott from here at AKG, and he told me the vision of creating something that's for the community, that's healing, that's just giving us a space and some time to really sit with what happened in a way that has traditionally been very healing for Black communities, art. So when he called me, I was like, yes. I think I was a little bit nervous because creating something like this is different from writing a poem for a protest or, for a community celebration. So I was very nervous, but I think working with Aaron and working with Julia and Tiffany has really helped a lot with those nerves, because from one aspect, I have no idea what putting an exhibition together even entails. I just know how to write. So that's all I really had to do, was just write from my heart. And yeah, that's how I got involved.
Now, you've got two of your works on vinyl on the walls. We've got also some written down. Tell us about this one in particular.
Yeah, so this was the first one I wrote when I started writing for the exhibition. I think it was just the idea of, how do I even write a poem about any of this? Like, how do you find words that can offer healing? Like, who am I to even think that I can offer healing? And I think this poem really describes the way, as a community, we try to find not only the words to describe what we were dealing with, but to heal. How do we move forward together? So, the lines about looking for the words in music and singing the same songs at the same time, and the barbecues and pantries, like, that's what actually happened. That's what we did. We congregated on Jefferson together after May 14th to try to figure it out together. So I wanted to really put that into a poem. So,
Jillian, thank you so much for not only your work, but your contribution in the healing words of our community.
Thank you.
Well, Julia, you're no stranger to making works of art. You were part of the Freedom Mall, and now you're part of this exhibit at AKG. Tell us about how you were approached to be a part of this team and what it means to you.
So initially I was approached by Aaron Ott, who's our curator here at the Buffalo AKG. Aaron came to us with this vision of, really letting us take the reins and tell a story in our own way. So, just in response to the tragedy of 514, we've seen a lot of public arts, we've seen a lot of visual efforts to kind of represent what happened and how we're processing all that. I think what's really unique about this project is with 3 Black women at the helm, we really were able to kind of slow down the process and say, we're going to take our time with it. We're going to represent in a way that's, exactly how we want to say what we want to say.
Walk us through what you're trying to say and portray through the stories of your paintings here.
So there's a couple different things happening with the exhibition. There's figurative works and there's also still life works. With the figurative works, I keep describing those as kind of the heart of the entire show, and the still lifes are more of the intellectual part and talking about history. So with the figurative pieces, really it's kind of trying to look at the idea of loss and what it feels like when somebody's taken from you, really specifically those small moments that we kind of forget, until a person's gone, just like cooking a meal together or, having somebody to dance with, just those little tiny moments that we miss so deeply when somebody's gone. Whereas with the still life pieces, something that I thought, kind of deeper into the project was that there really needed to be this aspect that talked about the history of, the divide in Buffalo and what led up to this. So all the systemic factors like redlining, food scarcity, anything that contributed to, having this isolated place where, the tragedy was able to occur.
Well, thank you for lending your voice to the public and sharing your art with the community of Buffalo. Well, Tiffany, you became a part of this exhibit through your words and your writing, so tell us about your contribution.
Yeah, so Aaron Ott, curator at the Buffalo AKG, reached out to me about wanting to put together an exhibition in response to the tragedy of May 14th, and really gave myself, Julia, and Jillian free rein to kind of shape the exhibition as we saw fit. And so going through the process of meeting with family members and community members, I wanted to kind of give words to this heaviness of feeling the collective grief, put it in context to how we have historically as Black people carried this grief through our collective experiences, but then also how do we move through this heaviness and this feeling of pain to find healing and to reconnect with love. And so I really wanted to write a piece that honored both the weight of what we've experienced, but also how do we reconnect to our sense of home and our sense of community to find love and true healing through this tragedy.
So we've got excerpts printed on vinyl on the wall. Tell me about this part of your essay.
So this comes at the end of my essay, and so as I kind of work through the text, I wanted to speak to the reality of grief and the pain, but then I wanted to end with a way to commemorate each of the individuals that we lost on that day, and really wanted to spotlight some of the lessons or just some of the takeaways from their lives and the ways that they lived their lives, the memories that they imparted on their families and their communities. And so I really wanted to give each individual in my piece a space to really honor and to for the public to sort of receive those lessons as well.
I think a lot of people are going to feel something and feel touched and see you and see themselves because of your work. So thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much.
When does this exhibit open and how long will it run for?
This exhibit opens on Friday, March 8th at 10 a.m. We have speaking engagement that evening at 7 p.m. It's free and open to the public in our M&T gallery in the Knox building, so anybody can come. There's no barriers to entry, and the show will be up through September 30th of this year.
Well, thank you so much for having us. And viewers, if you plan to come out, I encourage you to bring a friend with you to open yourself up to the grief that you felt and be ready to conversate about the healing process and your journey. The community conversation for Before and After, again, is happening tonight for free, but the exhibit is running until September 30th. Be sure to head to the Buffalo AKG to see it for yourself.